Welcome to Gylee and Friends, the podcast about game devs, creatives, and all of our pixelated shenanigans. I'm your host, Chris Bergman. I'm the founder and CEO of Gylee Games. It's not as illustrious as it sounds. With me is my wonderful co-host, the extremely talented senior producer, Kim Edwards. Kim, how are you?
I'm good. You're in a good mood. I like this.
Yeah?
I'll take it. Yeah.
It's because we got a guest that I fucking love hanging out with.
I'm really excited.
But before we get there, how was your week?
It's been
Give
a
me
long
some work
week.
stuff.
Work stuff?
Yeah.
We just closed on 2 levels, like a big sprint.
Locked.
So,
Level lock.
Level lock. It hasn't been official, but I did play test and it looks really good. So, yeah.
We're last
I know,
mile
we're at
right
the
now.
very end. It feels good.
We've been hiring a QA team and
yeah, that's
hiring
been
a lot of
stressful.
people
Yeah.
has been extremely stressful.
I feel like it's just meeting after meeting after. Well, you can contest to that today.
I had 7 meetings today. It is 4 p.m. I've had 7 meetings so far today.
And we're still going.
Yeah.
Good job.
And now
Proud
we
of
have a podcast.
Yeah.
But it's some people, they bring you down, right? And they sort of take from you
Yes.
and deplete you.
Yeah.
And
Drainers, if you will.
This man does the
not at all.
opposite for me.
Yeah, that's
He
fair.
lifts me up. He makes me so fucking happy whenever
Yeah.
I'm around him.
Just puts a smile on your face.
Yeah. Jason Snell is a Cincinnati-based designer, musician, and founder of the creative agency Snell Beast. He's worked with Mountain Dew, Taco Bell. That's gamers' 2 favorites right there.
Yeah, right there.
Amazon, ESPN, and so many more. Known for his rock and roll inspired approach to branding and design, Snell has a diverse professional background that includes working in creative agencies across Austin, New York, and Seattle, and Cincinnati, obviously. His work emphasizes agility, creativity, and a touch of the rebellious spirit, often crafting projects with a bold and distinctive edge. Through his work, Snell aims to push boundaries and inspire brands to embrace creativity with attitude and purpose. Please welcome Jason Snell.
Oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
What's up, baby girl?
Man, I just want to say thank you, first of all.
Yeah.
Chris.
Thank ChatGPT.
Thank you, ChatGPT, for always being there.
For all of us.
Always.
Always. I don't care what time it is. They're always there for us.
Yeah.
They.
Yeah.
There's things
They're not gendered, right?
No.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, it seems simple, but there's a lot of things behind the scenes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's how I picture it.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah.
It's been chaos this year from, everything from trying to be a good dad to trying to get it with work and being creative and finding yourself and just trying to be a good person.
How would you define your role in your if you had, what would you put on your business card, basically?
Oh, yeah, business. My tombstone pizza, what would I put on? Oh.
Yeah. What would you put on your tombstone pizza?
Man, that's hard because I'm trying to update a website, and you guys know that just stuff
Brutal.
takes forever,
Yeah. I just got yelled at by our new marketing person for having a bad website.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's
We've
tough.
neglected it.
And that's the things you have to put on there is someone first sees it, what is it?
Yeah.
And, I'm still struggling with that, but it's creative, inspiration, I do a lot of different things from design, animation, and illustration stuff. But it's at the end of it, it is storytelling, right? You have to tell a good story.
Yeah.
But it's just a good person wanting to do great work. That's,
right.
That's.
And I would definitely define you as a creative first and foremost, creative director. But the reality is you execute a lot of your work. Yeah. And because of that, your work has a lot of flavor to it that I think would be missing if you were just the one doing the direction.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's tough because the grass is always greener. It's
right.
The big
and you've
jobs,
done both. You've done all of it.
Yeah. And I still like to cook. I like to get in the weeds a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you like to do that stuff where you're you get in there and you want to do the sketches. You want to say, okay, this is XYZ, and also. Maybe I'm going to animate a little bit, get a little dirty, spend some hours on this.
Yeah.
But man, come on. Tell me it's not better when you have a team that helps you execute all that, right?
I'm doing wireframes right now for new UI.
Oh, God.
It's taking me forever.
Yeah.
Not because it's just finding the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're going to find that people are pushing you too, where you're damn it, you're in there in the weeds. But also,
yes,
that elevates other things.
Yeah. Kim's yelling at me constantly.
All the time.
Okay.
That's my job.
For sure.
But it's fun, man. You want to cook, you want to get in the weeds, you want to do some things. But man, it's a double-edged sword. because, I got to go chase down clients and payments.
Oh,
and
yeah.
also got to say, hey, what's next? Let's go find some things.
Right.
So, all that equals fun at the end of the day, but there's stressors there, being a dad, 5-year-old and 3-year-old, some of that stuff like you don't want to deal with,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What kind of to back up a little bit, can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you ended up here?
Yeah, it's awesome. So take a quick step back, like I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, about
Gross.
an hour north of here.
Yeah, disgusting.
Did you say gross?
Yeah, sure did.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is the gem city, if you will. So, but not a lot going on there. But I was a kid
Right.
into skateboarding and He-Man and
Fucking
Legos.
great place for skateboarding,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. Oh,
Dayton,
yeah.
Ohio. Habitat and Alien Workshop.
Dude, Alien
and
Workshop when I was a kid was
Rob
like,
Deer Deck?
Yeah.
Or Deer Deck? Yeah.
I mean, I remember going to Cow Skates. That was the original downtown that became Alien Workshop.
Yeah, fucking
And just
wild.
I want all these stickers. Like, looking at your laptop, there's like all the stickers of skateboard, the graphic design,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And I was a kid playing football and stuff too, and baseball and all the sports stuff.
Yeah.
But something about skateboard was like individual rock star, which,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
music.
Dude, like
all that stuff.
I definitely, as somebody that was a graphic designer and
Yeah.
and visual brand person as well for a long time, like it is like I remember being in my sophomore year of high school. I had already taken typing the year before. Like I got early, and I'm a fucking nerd, so I can type fast anyway. But there was a required typing class in
Yeah.
sophomore year.
Right.
So I'd like burn through it in literally 5 minutes, like the
Man.
whole session.
Yeah.
And then like just do something. And so I would redraw skate logos in ASCII because I just needed
that's
something to
shit.
do.
Really?
Right? Because I was always so impressed by
Man,
it was
dig
like
those up.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the skate industry sort of, because it was every design was so vibrant and had so much attitude and,
Yes.
and you just attached to it in
Yeah.
a way.
It was like the Jim Phillips like screaming hand.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I just was like, what is like cooler than that?
Yeah.
Like it just, I was not a good skater, but there was some freedom about just getting on your deck or, even your bike, man. It's
Yeah.
just taking off,
Yeah. Or rollerblades.
or blades, right? Come on, give it up.
That's what's up.
And just getting out, man, and it
Yeah.
was like, I don't know, my parents were always like, get home before the lights
Right.
turned
Yeah.
on,
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. A lot of kids in our neighborhood. We went to school right behind us.
Yeah.
And it was West Dayton. So they call it rough, which it is.
Right on.
But man, then my mom got better job. We moved to Kettering, the suburbs.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I kind of left the skateboarding stuff behind a little bit. Like
Okay.
it was more like sports and football and baseball. And
Yeah.
I just started collecting cards, man. I got into like baseball cards, football
yeah.
cards, cut grass every summer. And that's all I spent my money on, So
Yeah.
the design of that stuff, like
yeah.
real tops and
Oh,
all
yeah.
this stuff. Like I just got into, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is rad.
Well, and then you're getting into data design, right? Like it's going
Exactly.
beyond brand.
Yeah. It's true. I mean,
Yeah.
like the original, like just those platforms of like, there was only a few different cards out, and Upper Deck came out, and it was just like, what? This is
Yeah, that jump in
hologram on the
yeah,
card.
oh, yeah,
It was,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
dope, like
yeah,
was
it's
so
like high
cool.
end. I remember like you'd see kids that had Upper Deck cards, and you're like, oh, you're from a rich family, okay?
Yeah.
Well, and the one to get was the King Griffey Jr., right?
Oh, yeah.
That
Heck
was
yeah.
the big one. Growing up in Cincinnati down here, like that's
Yeah.
the one you wanted to get, a junior, that card.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like, I don't know, like that's where I started. And then I started working in high school for the paper and seeing a little bit behind the scenes at the print shop. So I worked
right
there
on.
after school.
Yeah.
So you could kind of see your designs from the newspaper go into the print shop. And
Were they doing like letting and kerning and all that shit
Oh
then?
yeah.
Oh,
like
wow.
it was like computer was starting to, we worked on computers for that layout.
Okay.
But when we got to the print shop, it was all old school.
Yeah.
So they were like burning plates and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
okay, like
Yeah.
this is a cool, like,
So did you fall in love with screen printing at that point?
I
or-
think so. That's where that underbelly of like, okay, I need to know
Yeah.
a little bit of like what makes this pop and the process of that stuff and the smell of the inks and that kind of stuff was just cool,
Oh,
And,
it's so
and like
good.
the folks working on this stuff, it was blue collar jobs, man, and cussing and screaming and spitting tobacco. And I was
Smoking cigarettes.
like,
Like,
it was just like this old school in the middle of, stuff that wasn't, right?
Right.
It was really fun.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, so you're at this newspaper, kind of learning.
And I didn't know what to do. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to draw or something,
Yeah.
because a kid always draw, and we all drew as kids,
Right.
And then I played at one school,
Yeah.
UC.
Yeah.
They had this
I've heard of
really
them.
good graphic design school there. DAP.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'll go there.
Yeah.
And man, it was awesome. Like I started doing the foundations.
Yeah.
A lot of good people we went to school with, but I got bored. I was just like, I'm drawing letters over and over again.
Yeah, because it's sort of built for you to go work at an agency that does PNG work typically, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
which is good for the kids that are going through it because they get a job.
and at least at that time, that was heavy in that, right?
Yeah.
It was like everything was lumped together into graphic design, which now it's every which way, right?
Right.
So I was like, I don't want to do this. So I went to fine arts because I wanted to paint and draw and animate.
Yeah.
So I was like, I became like this painting major that wanted to animate.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because that's what I want to do now. You know what
Paint
I mean?
or animate?
Well, like animate and draw, right?
Yeah, word. Yeah, it never left. Like it's still the same
Right.
thing. Yeah.
But what was cool about that is like Denise Bird, she was still there. She's amazing. She was like, no, you can do that here. And I'm like, really? I was like, they told me I couldn't do that shit at all in graphic design. You know? And now I appreciate all that stuff. You know, like,
well, it's a Bachelor of Science, isn't it? So like it's much more
BS.
Yeah, isn't the graphic design program a Bachelor of Science? So it's much more on the technical side than the creative side, really, kind of.
Right. Fine art. What is that now? Gosh, I don't even know.
So BFA is like
BFA. Yeah. It's interesting, and everybody can carve a path out, and school's great.
Yeah. Is it?
But I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. So the first year, I learned a lot what I don't want to do more than what I want to do.
Right.
I felt like so it was good for me to get out of Dayton. Go to a bigger city.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
And
much better city.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I go home to Dayton every once in a while.
Fuck Dayton.
Dayton's tough, man. They're doing a lot better than when I was a kid there.
They're doing their best.
Oregon District's all right. I like Oregon District.
Dude, I was there the day before those shootings went down. A handful of years ago.
Yeah.
And my sister still lives there. My parents do. And it's like, God, I felt terrible.
Yeah.
Because that's like the only place to go, like to
have a cool neighborhood.
All that stuff. It's like, man, everything else is kind of like malls and stuff. I don't know. So there's definitely a place in my heart for Dayton. Come on.
Fair enough.
But Cincinnati is home now.
That's
Come
what's
on.
up.
That's what's up.
So how do you go from DAP to like working with these giant brands? Like
man, a lot of work, dude. And when I graduated, this is how old I'm old, man.
Well, I know we're the same age.
I'm a good old.
Yeah, I think you're younger than me, actually.
I
don't know. So the riots happened in Cincinnati, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
2001.
It was like that's when I graduated. It was like, oh shit.
Yep.
Like, and being in bands in college was like, Cincinnati was awesome because you get in a van, go to Chicago, go to Nashville,
very, very central.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, all within 4 or 5 hours. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then the riots down here happen, 9/11, all that kind of stuff. And you're just like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like, and it's like, I guess
the first millennial crisis.
Yeah, it
was. Like, I guess I have to learn how to be a little entrepreneurial. I got to hustle more. You're not going to get that P&G job out there. Nor did like a lot of, kids in bands like want to do that stuff and wear a suit to, we didn't want to do that shit.
No. Yeah.
But we also were like, we don't know how to like work from home. And like, that wasn't
a thing yet.
That wasn't a thing.
Right.
It was like saving up for a desktop was hard enough.
Oh yeah.
So like you got your home desktop.
And you pirated the fuck out of Adobe software.
Oh my gosh. The Napster shit and all that.
Oh yeah.
Like such a rad time. Like it was just like Wild West for music, for art, for like downloading anything. It was like, if you could do that shit, it was awesome.
The idea of downloading was wild.
Yeah. It was the Wild West.
Yeah,
and and then you'd trade with friends and try to jump on, and like just the whole idea of how that platform was set up was so cool.
Yeah.
For like, if you're 20, it was unreal.
Right.
Yeah. And especially you start seeing like your heroes like Metallica and stuff get pissed off. You're like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah,
dude.
you old
know
man.
what I mean? Like you already made your money. Like, and I just think that whole like indie rock and indie everything from DJ movements to hip hop to all this stuff got real interesting,
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know. I remember cold fucking calling on a phone
Yeah.
To be like, hi, I'm a designer. I want to do this. I want to do that. And people are like, yeah, we're not doing that. So you
respect the hustle though.
Yeah.
but you learned how to take no
Yeah.
and swallow it and go, go have a band come in from Pittsburgh and live in your apartment for the weekend, you know, and like, then I'm going to go to Pittsburgh, and you set up this whole like routine of going to other cities. And they started to need, band posters.
Sure.
I started in the silk screening. So it was like learning how to take those things, working with bands, helping other bands out.
Yeah.
That still I love.
You still do.
Yeah. And there's something about that with the entrepreneurial spirit of like DIY aesthetics and helping. I don't know. Like I think a lot of folks like our age are like, I hope they don't lose that, because that still is like inspiring. And like to help a young kid out who has a band, maybe, I'll just throw this out there. I feel like the best advice for that is go find someone that does something different than you, but Voltron that shit, man. Like you guys all work together to make something really rad together.
Well, I think that's video game development. You just described video game development, right? Like
seriously,
audio,
anything
sound
cool
effects,
like that.
animation.
Yeah, so much that and goes into film and goes into all these things. So like that DIY spirit is still there, but knowing that you have people to lean on that have the same goal.
Yeah.
So rad to see in any sort of design, art, culture, movements, any of that stuff. So
what was your biggest break?
My biggest break happened, I think, man, that's tough. Because I feel like every couple years, everybody has a break.
Yeah.
Like biggest is what happened to you recently, I feel like, right? For everyone. Maybe, at least for me.
Yeah. Just recency bias or?
I don't know. Just like feeling like you're invited to the club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for
it's
sure.
hard.
So what was the first time that you felt you felt that way?
Getting a job.
Yeah.
Like finally getting
in design.
Yeah, like Dan and Steve from like Brave Berlin who helped start Blink. Man, like those guys gave me my first agency job, and I felt like, man, I can do like
wonderful
I'm invited
fucking humans too.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
And they just invited me to work with them at FRCH. I was there for 4 or 5 years, cut my teeth with big brands.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. They put me on planes. I was going to Vegas. I was like, this is so rad.
Yeah.
Learning what to do and like working my ass off, working late, taking stuff home, saying yes, saying please, saying thank you.
Yeah.
Just trying to like,
those soft skills go such a far way.
Yeah.
it really does.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of infectious. Like if you do it, other people see that and you're getting success and they want to tap into that, and it's fun and it's cool. Like why, you're going to get pissed off and things are going to go sideways. But if you show that, and we all have, man, sometimes I don't want to work with you the next time.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started learning those skills, like working at agencies, man.
Yeah.
Like I ended up working there. I worked at Lightborn, worked at Landor, Gray, a lot of different agencies.
Yeah.
Cincinnati has a lot of agencies. Man.
Oh yeah.
And there's
Big
always
agency
new
city.
ones.
Yeah.
Kroger, P&G, they need a lot of work with this stuff. So doing a lot of that work, man, realizing, I can do this stuff. But then eventually you start doing I kept doing stuff for bands I love. And I think that was the first, and I'll jump to the second one.
Yeah.
This is just real quick because it came to my head. The thing that flipped my lid was when my buddies in Greenhorns started going to Nashville.
Yo, shit, I know where this is going.
Started playing with the biggest dude cat around, Jack White.
Yeah.
And Jack White came to my house about a job.
That's cool.
For me to work there.
I know this.
I talked, I didn't realize what it was.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like for like an art directing position or something, but it was to help with the website, man.
Yeah.
And Patrick, my buddy, sat on my couch.
And this is for the band that they all started together.
This was for Third Man.
This is for Third Man
Records.
Records.
This was for Third Man Records.
Yeah.
They were like kind of new at the time, but you knew it was going to be something because Jack
White's a part of it. Yeah.
But like Little Jack and Patrick, Greenhorns guys, they go down to Nashville and they create this thing, Racking Tours and all this stuff, and they blow up. But, before all that, like Jack White, and they came to my house, he sent me a text like, hey, we're going to be there. I was like, oh, like Jack's going to be with me. And I was like, oh, snap. Okay. It's about the position. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like walking around my house. He's like touching my shit. I had a little studio there. And, he picked this attenuator thing up and he was like, man, how's this thing sound? And I should have been like, just take it, I'll get it back from you sometime.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Don't touch that.
Yeah. But, I was sitting there trying to sell this whole thing of like my creativity and art direction. And I should have, and he asked me about like the website. I was like, oh, it's okay. You could probably get a couple like young kids out of school to probably do the developing on this, and you probably don't, it's like, okay. And that's kind of what he did. I like talked him out of and it's okay though. But you learn from that stuff. But that was a moment where I felt like, all right, I can do this. I arrived, I didn't melt.
Right.
With the biggest rock star at the time in the world. He's still one of them.
Yeah.
Came to my house. I was like, all right. And then Patrick and Little Jack and these guys, like, I remember them a few years earlier, just, working at the Kitchen to the Comet. Like cool dudes, like in coolest band, but like people are people, so it's crazy. You never know.
That's so cool.
So at some point you do all this, like you're at these agencies doing work with these huge brands, and then you spin off and start We Are Vikings.
Yeah. So I started Vikings because I was working late nights and I said, let's go. Like I had this opportunity where I was like, man, I'm working a lot at nights and doing work where I can't get it done at night. And I was like, I might as well go for it. Like OTR wasn't built up that much yet.
Yeah.
So I was like,
you and I were some of the first people around.
Yeah. Yeah. So man, like met my partner in crime, Sarah down here, she was working at 3CDC and it was like, okay, like there's this place for $400 a month that's like right across from this like car wash that's like DIY car wash, topless car wash going on. I don't know. It was crazy. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. So, it didn't cost that much back then to kind of kick something off, you know? And I had clients, started working with other agencies to like give me gigs to pay for that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a real quick thing, like jump into the deep end and see what'll happen.
And then quickly you start winning awards and it goes well.
Man, it was always a struggle and a fight. I was able to hire some friends on, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But now
made a really cool Chore Monster t-shirt.
Yeah, I still have it. I love
Dude,
it.
Chore Monster, come on. Like that was so dope. With the mural over there.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are killing it.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to, Chris, you've always been ahead of the game down here, man. It's awesome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. But
it's mutual.
It was hard, man, because like these other agencies were like, oh, now he's competition. He's got brick and mortar. He's got his name on the front, man. So you're like, fuck, dude. Like, okay, I guess now I'm competing with you. And it's hard,
Yeah.
But when you can hire your friends and when you can like
it's the best.
Print something, do something, have it in your hand, tangible, go out and celebrate your wins in the neighborhood. I don't know, there's something strong about that, And
absolutely.
it was just an amazing time for that, and it was still Over the Rhine wasn't where it's at today.
Right.
So there was a lot of hustle, a lot of just like, figure it out.
The gritty was good, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
It's still grit. I mean, definitely over here, it's more gritty. We like it.
I mean, you have to
prefer
have, that's culture though.
Yeah.
You have to have all of it. You can't get rid of something.
Yeah.
You can enhance it and make things better.
Yeah.
And put some shine on stuff, which is great. But if you start pushing things out and
it's
things
a different
get
thing.
weird and it's not,
the
culture's gone. And then no one wants to be there.
Yeah. Exactly. Or suburbanites want to be there, and that's it.
Gross. Then I don't want to be there.
Yeah, same. This is why we avoid the neighborhood on the weekend.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah, that's kind of real, right?
Yeah.
So you run that for like what, 5 or 6 years, something like that, and then
I think
get a big opportunity.
I think all in all, it was like one of those things where it was like, man, I probably had Vikings for 10 years.
Okay.
And then we probably had the brick and mortar for 7, 8.
Yeah.
A couple different places on Vine Street.
Yeah. And
moved
then,
it over.
BLDG comes knocking.
Yeah, Brandon came into the fold with a print thing, and then all of a sudden, I was like, man, I'm ready to have kids, right? And BLDG, Jay's great. Always respected them over in Covington, but a couple of times he's like, you let me know, man, if you want to sell. And I'm just like, come on, man, like we're doing our thing, like no way. But when that came down to where like Brandon wanted to get out, I'm gonna have some kids, making the decision, it was time.
Yeah,
it was time, and I felt so bad because I had a couple employees at the time, Matt, Phil, awesome dudes.
Yeah.
It was hard, and I still miss it. And you're like, I want the neighborhood being down there.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I'm not going to be.
So
able
we'll get to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to have a family, dude. Like,
if
I'm down at the shop 16 hours a day,
right?
It's like
That's why you just move your family in next door to your office.
Yeah, so tell me what's
Hi, kid.
what's the secret to that, right?
Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah. Yeah.
Live underneath a couple of the tables or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, okay, so you do what a lot of people, I think, a lot of entrepreneurs especially, like, really aspire to is to sell your company, right?
Yeah, but I felt like, and my wife was telling me that, like, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But at the time, I kind of felt like it wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'd failed these guys, but also I knew they were going to get insurance. I couldn't give them that.
Yeah.
They wanted to buy houses. I wasn't at that level yet.
Right.
And it's a hard place to get to.
Yeah.
So I kind of,
especially in your business, like in services specifically. Yeah.
it's like the agency world, you got to get to like almost like 20. And then that's like, and we were, the biggest was like 7 or 8. you know? But yeah, now looking back at it, I'm like, yeah, that did celebrate. That's a win. But at the time, I was kind of bummed because I felt like I was letting my buddies down or something,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's so easy to spin everything into a failure.
Right.
Like for us as business owners and entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That didn't work out. But it just didn't work out the way you thought it was going to. It still like totally worked out.
Well, now I have this new whole thing about like, man, I want to make 20 businesses. And now I'm thinking about exit strategies and let's go.
Yeah. Because you've gone through the process.
Yeah. And now you're like, if you do all that work up front, everyone's cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know how to do that. That's how people get out there and are able to have more creativity in their life and able to do more things because it's just building energy. Money is energy and time, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So you do that and kind of work with BLDG for a bit, and then spin out and start Snell Beast.
Right. Well, the pandemic, man. It's just so,
that was it.
it was like everyone's working from home.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the day where Jay's like, all right, see ya. And then like, it was like, see you in like 2 weeks. And we're all like, we're all like, oh, this is camp.
We all have the same fucking story.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? See you in 2 weeks. Everyone's kind of like leaving with like,
I was
like
excited.
Their laptop. And they're like, oh, this could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then that first Monday, everyone's on Zoom like all day long.
Yeah.
And then the second day, and it starts to wear on you. You're like,
I
gotta fucking check this thing every 5 minutes. This is grueling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It got really the first couple,
nobody had like a playbook of how to do this. Everybody's doing it differently. Everyone's trying to figure it out for their team, whatever. Yeah.
But then that blossomed into how we eventually now work with people in Spain.
Yeah, like all over the place.
It's amazing now.
Yeah.
Those learnings from that.
Yeah.
But man, that was a wild ride. I just
Yeah.
So from then it was like, okay, well, I'm here I'm doing some more freelance. It was like it happened again, right? I'm doing more work with the kids where it's like, I can't do all this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Jay and I were just this mutual thing where it's like, hey, I'm just going to go on my own and keep those clients. Have Jason, you can take these couple back. We don't.
Yeah.
And it was like a mutual cool thing. And I still give Jay work, man.
Word.
And back and forth. So that's really cool. I'm glad
that big of both of you guys. I mean, I think it's so easy to like, for someone to take offense to that or get butt hurt real fast and
butt hurt. I like that.
It's like going through a breakup. Like it's tough.
Yeah.
Well, I think as like designers and creatives, we all want that project.
Right.
We all want to do that thing that's so rad, right?
Yeah.
And what's funny is I started to learn that like you can't get to all that stuff. You can't win all of it. But you know what? If you can't get to something, make a recommendation to somebody else. Or maybe it's not a fit or the right, money or budget.
Yeah.
Throw someone else up, man.
Yeah. And give first.
Yeah. And I have found it. That's awesome. Like, seriously, like
Same.
Everybody gets to win that way. And, it takes time. I think it takes some like years to kind of realize that stuff. And
for sure.
I love it now. If there's someone that can be like, I can't get to that. I know this other designer or this other creative that could do and crush that. Man, I don't know. That makes me feel amazing.
Absolutely. It feels fulfilling in a lot of ways, right? Like,
like if you're not the best for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It took me a while to get there. You know? Like
that just comes with age. I mean, I think about myself, even we were just talking about this, like when I was running Chore Monster and we were working together, how much of a different person I am today.
Oh, yeah.
And a different leader that I am today than from then.
What's the biggest thing you noticed from that? Like, what's the biggest thing you caught yourself and you go,
Well,
oh, I'm doing this right this time or whatever?
Yeah, well, therapy helped a lot.
Yeah.
I think
That's awesome.
Can I answer that question for you?
Yeah, but I'm going to cut it out if it's awful.
I think that you are able to be your true authentic self as opposed to
for sure.
when you were at Chore Monster.
A lot of masking.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Oh,
lot of
wow.
masking.
Because he had to
yeah.
be this big family guy who couldn't cuss, and you know what I mean?
When we had Disney, when we took that Disney money, I had to get real squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's more eyes on you, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there's an investment there. But I got to tell you, as like someone who was outside and knew you, didn't know you as well as I do today, obviously.
Sure.
I was like, man, this dude got the bag, dude, and he's doing what he wants in town. Like, people were like, this guy's the shit, man. Like, you can work with Disney and do your thing. Like,
I mean, I think
so cool.
Yeah, again, going back to like failures and successes, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, I remember when we sold to Verizon, like feeling a huge failure because they like killed it.
Yeah, right,
Killed it.
Right.
And but a success. So now I'm able to look at it in all the light of the successes that it brought. One of them being, which is also what I'm trying to do with Gylee in a slightly different way, but like I'm fucking out here to be a role model and show that people can do really, really cool shit in Cincinnati, Ohio.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
like, why not? No one else is doing it. I'm about to do it.
and so many businesses spun out of Chore Monster.
Yeah.
Like so many people went and started stuff. J-Bo being one. Like,
Yeah.
like, I remember
Right.
like I was one that pushed him out. I was like, stop working for me. Like
Oh, wow.
go start your own company. What
Yeah.
are you doing? Like, you know, David and Josh
Yeah.
and I feel like there was one or two others, but yeah.
I mean, even like Brian went on and did his own thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone, I think, became more successful because they were given an opportunity. We didn't make a lot of money, but we were given a title, and that title we were able to carry and get better jobs from it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm hyper proud of that. Like,
Yeah.
like if
You
I
should
get to
be.
be that step, even now, man, like if I get to be that step for someone that gets them one step closer to their dream or gets them one step closer to like what they're trying to achieve,
Yeah.
like then I'm doing my job. Like that's
Right.
my fucking role at this point.
Right.
Like I got lucky in a lot of ways just by being a white male to start, right?
Well,
like,
sure. Opportunities.
Yep.
I mean, let's be real. They're there.
And so like to you know, like it is my responsibility to help other people succeed. Like,
Yeah.
you know, at this point.
And you probably, I mean, at least for me, like you didn't know it at the moment. You just try to be a good person, right?
Right.
And like learn from those things.
Right.
And now you
And
can look
failed a
back.
lot at doing that.
Well, now you look back and you're like, man, I'm glad I like stood up for them or stood up for
Yeah, word.
for these things that
Yeah.
like are still right.
Well,
you
like
know?
I didn't know I was gonna have lifelong friends from this fucking thing either.
Yeah,
like that's the
right.
part that like blows me away,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
me and you, for example, right? Like
Right.
you know, I can't even remember how we met.
Well, I'm gonna tell this quick story, and I love this story. We had a quick meeting over a beer about a T-shirt, and
It was it at Lackman?
yes, it was. I think that was your second home.
Yep.
Yes, that's why Rara was Project Laughter.
But I was like, all right, I'm gonna bring this whole thing in. I had this big, huge idea, and I remember you stopped me. You're like, Jason, you're like, I asked you for a T-shirt. You're like, yeah. Like, why are you giving me all this other stuff to like, dude, this is not what this is about. And you were like very to the point about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, you're right. Like I had to take a moment because I got talked into like doing all this thing. And I'm like, yeah, why are we doing that? And I was kind of like, it was a little uneasy at first, but I was just like, man, dude, the fact that you said that to me and didn't, and wasn't just like a salesman and was like, I'm never going to talk to him. He didn't give me what I wanted.
Yeah.
You were kind of like, this is why you don't do that, dude. Like, I didn't ask for that. Like, do it like this, do it like that.
listen to your
and I
client.
don't even know if I ever told you that.
I don't think so, yeah.
But like looking back at that moment, I was like, man, I'm glad he was honest about that because
Yeah.
I learned from that. You
Yeah.
know, when you have your own business, you do things that when you first start, you're just trying to get a bag. or
You
just trying to
don't.
make-
No one
know.
tells you how to do
You
this.
don't. No one tells you how to.
Yeah.
There's no like again playbook. There's
Yeah.
playbooks where there's lots of playbooks on YouTube now.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
A young, you're 20 something and you're like starting a business. No one, like before Brandery, before that.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
no one trying to tell you how to run a business.
No,
You're
not at
just
all.
going to fail again. So I really appreciate that. And I look at that as a moment like, man, I'm glad he said that to me. I didn't at the moment, but I'm really glad you did, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I have a reputation for being an asshole, but it's
I don't know.
just
It was
being autistically blunt in some ways. And I do remember that moment because I remember like wanting you to succeed. Like, I'm like, I love your work. I am a fan of you. Please stop trying to oversell me.
yeah, it was cool. It was like very, like, I feel like I needed that because in those days we would go to so many meetings about like, you know, you can do all this to your brand and here's like this 30-page document. Like people who are in big leadership roles don't have fucking time for that.
Right.
They want to like be like, hey, can you do this for me? He did that for me. That was great. Next time I need something like that, or
He's the guy. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was eye-opening for me and it was awesome.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
That's
makes me
interesting. Yeah.
10, 15 years later, you know what I mean? It's
Well, one of
funny.
the times that me being an asshole actually benefited somebody.
Wow.
So Snell Beast now. We're already running along on this side, but I want to bring it up, man. You just got nominated for a Grammy.
Is that the
Yeah.
We'll add in.
Chris?
Cheers.
I can't believe it, man.
So tell what for?
It's
give me the quick rundown.
so real quick. You know, I always like to say yes to things. Say yes, but right.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. But okay, my buddy can do this because he can do it faster, cheaper, or whatever. I don't have time. Said yes to working on this document or this Texas music documentary. Brandon Ferris is in town. He was worked at Leap. He's doing his own thing. He's a director. He had a buddy Joe and I believe up in New York. I said yes to. It was a couple $1,000. You know, hey, it's Charlie Crockett's in it. Pretty cool. Like I want to make it. I want to do it right. That leads to Joe coming back to me saying, man, you nailed it with that, man. I got this big opportunity. It's with Run-D.M.C, their official documentary. It's paid for. It's going to be on Peacock. This is a year. We already knew this. He's like, man, I want to fight for you because you kicked ass so much on this other one. I want to fight for you to be the guy to do this stuff.
Yeah.
There's already like 3 other New York agencies going to do it.
But you were giving all them, and by do stuff, you mean create all the motion graphics, create the visual identity.
Exactly. Art direct this thing.
Yep.
He said, here's the thing. Can you do a pitch deck for it? And I said, hell yeah, I will. Everyone says, don't do that kind of shit.
Spec work, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Spec work. But for Run-D.M.C, for this opportunity, I've never done this before.
Yeah.
I'm doing that,
I
whatever
would
you
do it,
need.
yeah.
He fought for me, man.
Yeah.
I worked on one project for him. And that's what you got to do if you want to get those opportunities. So I worked for 9 months on that.
Yeah.
Put my kids to bed, go downstairs, work for another 4 hours. It was fucking hard.
Yeah.
I noticed that
On the pitch deck or on the the documentary?
Once I won it. I was like, hell yeah, we're rolling. These guys think I'm a whole army, Snell Beast. It's me.
Yeah.
I made mistakes. I didn't ask for enough money.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was going to take like I should
A year of your life.
Oh, geez.
yeah, and I should have hired 3 more people
Yeah.
at least to help me with this.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking do that. I didn't ask for enough money.
Yeah.
I just said yes, I'll go. Yes, I'll go.
Right.
Sometimes you need that to break into a new place. That industry's hard, man. And I'm still struggling to get new work.
And it's isolated.
After
and
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of gatekeepers.
Oh, yeah.
So many gatekeepers. You know of this world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so we kick ass on it. We bust ass on it. We finish it. I went above and beyond. I animated everything on it. There's a bunch of animations on it.
It's gorgeous
There's
too.
a lot of just like, I'm very proud of that. You know, I may never have that opportunity to work with such this Run-D.M.C. I grew up, again, I went back to it as a kid and I was like, I remember hearing the drum beats my dad were listening to on WTUE in the car, and these guys are rhyming. I'm like, I'm in 5th grade and this is meant for me right now, you know?
Yeah.
And just loving it and being able to work with that stuff. I didn't ask the right questions, but I learned. I kept grinding. We finish it. Lots of work. It's a 3-hour document. I thought it was going to be a 120.
Yeah.
It's 3
that's
hours.
long.
A lot of craziness involved. But then we turn it over. I don't hear anything forever. I'm trying to get back into doing more of this stuff and put myself out there. I'm like, hey guys, you know, like, Run-D.M.C, they call it, it's documentary for old cats. Man.
Right,
it's not a new.
Yeah.
So, but it's okay. But then fast forward to a week ago. You never know.
Ooh.
We didn't get Peacock spent money to put my name in the hat for an Oscar or an Emmy.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That's cool that they did that.
They knew I worked
Yeah.
on it, so they were like, "We want to push the graphics on package on this." I think who won it? Kermit, the documentary on Kermit
Jim
the Frog.
Henson?
Jim Henson.
Yeah.
Like that was badass.
Yeah, it's kinda hard to-
So that's who
one
I'm
was
competing
cute.
with.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of people in a studio.
Yeah.
So
And just you.
just me.
Yeah.
So
1v100. Let's go.
crazy.
Yeah.
So last week, this little thing called the Grammys come out for nominations, and I'm not thinking anything about the film and a Grammy.
Yeah.
I had read, Joe sent me something. Hey, it's up. There's about 12 people they talked about on Billboard.com about these movies that might get nominated. Well, I saw Taylor Swift's name on there. I'm like, dude, we're not going to compete with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Dude. Like that Netflix special is crazy.
Yeah.
Like we all watched it 10 times, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I kind of forget about it. And then all of a sudden, Grammy nominations drop, and I see Kirk, who directed the film, put it on Instagram. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We're the third one they called out.
Yeah.
There is no Taylor Swift on this.
Whoa.
Really?
So she didn't get nominated. It's John Baptiste, which amazing.
Yeah,
Oh
amazing.
my God,
Yeah.
he's so amazing.
June Carter, her documentary.
Yeah.
And it's best music film. Like,
Yeah.
that's the best music
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. And then Kings from Queens, the
Yeah.
Run-D.M.C documentary, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
How does it make you feel?
Now I can put my name next to my name, Grammy nominated.
Yeah.
Like
So
forever
cool.
now.
Yep.
And I didn't, I don't know, it's still trying to sink in. Like
Yeah.
I never thought that would happen. And coming from my background, being in a bunch of bands and stuff, and
Yeah.
like making posters.
I love that you got there through
Yeah.
your graphics and not,
Not
Isn't that
music.
nuts?
Yeah.
You guys, that's crazy.
That's so cool, though.
So
God, what a great feeling.
Kim, I need to talk to you. February 2nd is the Grammys. So I want to have like.
Oh, are we
some
doing a
sort-
party?
I want to do a party or something.
Fuck,
down
Oh
there.
yeah,
my
I am
God.
in.
Fuck
Just
yeah.
to have fun. Like,
Yes.
like to go up there and see it, Kings from Queens up there and some,
Yes.
if we win,
We could do a
dude,
Grammy gala.
We could totally do
It'd
a
be fun.
Grammy Gala.
That would be
It'd be
great.
so easy.
All right,
So-
yeah.
You guys have
Right after the Game Awards gala. Oh, yeah, we got it.
Yeah,
We got it.
that's easy.
We got it. Seriously.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got some news to talk about, got some shenanigans.
Yeah.
And a brand new segment
Brand new segment.
that I'm so excited about.
I'm actually excited.
Yeah, we'll be right back. So I have a question for you, Snell.
Yeah.
How's your social media presence these days?
My social media at Jason Snell. Instagram.
On Insta? Okay. Were you ever a
Yeah.
Twitter guy?
I tried. It's
Yeah?
hard because there's just so much. I found myself just doom scrolling too much.
Yeah, it
I'm
was a
not-
fire hose, right?
Oh my gosh, I want to be, but I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I'm on there. But
Yeah.
it's a lot more on Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah,
Right on.
It's like,
Are you familiar with Blue Sky?
no, what's up with that?
Okay, so Blue Sky is the new Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's finally catching some fire.
Okay,
So they have about 16 million users now.
that sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, me too. I've been on it for about a year, actually.
Same.
And it feels like, so if you weren't ever much of a Twitter user, like Twitter in like 2009,
12.
10 was magical.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was there at the time. It was like, I made a bunch of friends on it.
Oh, nice.
Like it was like, before it became this fucking dumpster fire of social media in general.
Yeah, it's like hard to wrangle.
Yep. So Blue Sky really does like bring back the fun, weird vibes of old Twitter.
Nice.
And I'm absolutely loving it. Like I follow a bunch of game devs on there. We do a bunch of game dev
Okay.
chatting. And
Like
it's just nice to have an alternative to X.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you open an app up and it's like the stuff you want to see, like that's
That's
I'm
nice.
down with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Like, don't give me the upfront.
I don't want an algorithm. I don't want an I don't want an
Yeah.
algorithm. I don't want
Like, what do
shit
you
pushed to
think
me.
I hate?
Yeah, exactly.
So, in this article, does it say what made it just snap off all of a sudden?
The election
Oh, I see.
had a big, and honestly, like you could see, well, so Elon Musk buying Twitter, changing algorithms, changing rules.
Yeah.
And you can see the decline of Twitter coalescing with the rise of it being a place for the right wing and
Yeah.
anti-Semites and
Well, and the ad buy stuff stopped, right? So that was probably a big one where like Disney and the agencies,
everybody.
they were like, we're not going to give you any ad revenue. And I think that was opening the
it's-
door up for like just darkness.
It did.
it's becoming a propaganda machine.
Do you hear about Stephen King? How
He left.
Elon kicked him off Twitter.
What?
Yeah, so this happened like a week, 2 weeks
I thought
ago.
he left.
No, he was on Twitter and he called Musk, like, I think something about like Miss President or something to that topic, and Elon just didn't have it and kicked him right off.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Man.
Bandy or Stephen King.
Stephen King, yeah.
That's crazy.
It was funny.
Uh,
Good for Stephen King.
So maybe
for
if I
Stephen
do
King.
that because I don't use it as much,
yeah.
and I call him a name
yeah.
and he'll
Yeah.
kick me off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I can use that like
As clout.
Elon hates me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we all want.
He hates everybody. He's fueled by hate, man.
He
That's
really
part
is.
of the problem.
It's gonna be a story for the next year or two, right? I mean,
Next 4.
Yeah, 4 years.
We're not here to talk about that though.
That's true. Sorry.
Anyway, I just want to say Blue Sky's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it.
I need to pay more attention to it.
Yeah, I know I'm in it every day again, and kind of, and it's going back to like what I ate for lunch and shit. Like I like hearing
I like
what people
that.
ate for lunch.
Yeah, I think
like
it's the silly
I don't
shit.
need an agenda. It was like, is LinkedIn going to be the place where I have to go
hope
connect with
not.
people? And it's like so much thought leadership bullshit. My favorite
Yeah.
subreddit is LinkedIn Lunatics.
Ooh.
Oh
that
my
sounds
God,
pretty
it's
good.
so good.
I don't know
Because
this
I do
subreddit.
like
So
LinkedIn.
good.
I do. There's a lot of like, I think there's some cool stuff going on there, but you're right. There is. It's certainly
It's
built
there
up with
for
a lot
a
of
reason, yeah.
Well, probably
That's
more in
what
my
it is.
inbox where people are like, want me to
A lot of
join
that.
some weird. No, dude, I don't want
Yeah.
a finance coach coming at me like, yo.
Yeah, I'm also I
Gross.
don't have the time to be a thought leader, man. I'm not trying to be a thought leader anywhere. Like I don't need that.
We'll keep that stuff at home.
Yeah. Anyway, how about you, Kim? What's
My computer's about to die. That's why I'm being extra.
I heard you're a big fan of the Toxic Crusaders.
Did you guys watch that cartoon?
I
growing
loved
up?
that. Well, it's a movie first, right?
Yeah, well,
Trauma, right?
Well, I wasn't allowed to
that.
watch it because it was like rated R or something.
Yeah,
I
of course.
think. It was
Yeah,
like
it's a trauma film, man.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like Toxic Avengers.
Yes.
Avengers.
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
that's
yeah.
how Crusader was created. They just made it more
Oh, the
kid friendly.
Crusaders, the kid-friendly version. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had toys. I had a bunch of the toys.
I had
too.
all the toys too. And like thinking back on it, like I know he had like a whole crusade, but I think he like threw them also in like the toxic waste and then they became part of his team.
Yes.
So that's kind of messed up. I like
Yeah.
completely blacked that out as a kid.
So you loved the cartoon as a kid.
I did. I
Yeah.
loved it growing
Nice.
up. Never saw the movie though. I can't believe you saw the movie as a kid.
Yeah,
That's
I saw it at
crazy
a
to
friend's
me.
house. It
Oh,
was like one
okay.
of those deals.
Okay, you can get away with that.
But they also have a very, very good beat 'em up
Yeah.
game that I think came out or is coming out very soon. I played the demo at PAX.
yeah,
actually.
I've seen the demo. I have not played the game.
It's
so I
very
wanna
good.
say.
It's awesome.
Okay. It
Yeah.
does look really fun.
Yeah.
And they use the old cartoon jingle from the beginning
Oh,
and
really?
stuff, which I love.
Yeah.
I think it's cute. But the article specifically is on GameSpot and it's about the Crusaders, the 90s cartoon, and it's getting its own collector's edition on Blu-ray, but they're adding a bunch of stuff to it because like each episode was only like 21 minutes
When was the
long.
last time you bought a Blu-ray?
I know. I want to be able to like own it on Fandango or
No.
something like that.
No. Yeah.
Did you, when Glenn was on here last time, he was like, do you want to borrow my Blu-ray? And I was like, how am I going to watch that? What do you mean borrow your Blu-ray?
Yeah.
Who's watching
Well, you have a
things on
PlayStation,
Blu-ray?
don't you, in your house?
I don't have a PlayStation. I
Oh.
only have a Switch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, the Switch. I'm going to get one of those for my oldest girl for Christmas. It's just holidays. I
That's
mean,
nice.
it's too rad.
Dad
Like,
moves.
They're great. And
Oh my
even though
gosh.
there's going to be like a Switch 2 soon, everything
Allegedly.
Allegedly. They keep talking about it. But
We
it
don't have
should-
any insider information.
Yeah, I have no.
about
They
None.
ooh.
do you? Why are
Uh,
you doing that?
I got an iTwitch.
Okay. But anything that you get from the Switch 1, because they don't even know what the Switch 2 is going to be called, is like it'll be transferable. Like you're not going to miss
Love
anything.
it.
So if you get it now, it's fine.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that seems like it has it all. Like,
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
They have
so much fun.
It's
For sure.
It's I'm so glad you're getting that for your.
Okay,
Yeah,
so Blu-ray.
she's 5. That's okay, right? That's
5?
Yeah, she's 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
She's starting to
my
get
kids.
good.
I mean, my
Okay.
kids had unlimited screen time from the time they were born,
Right.
and they self-moderate like crazy. Like they're
Yeah.
really good at it.
She's gonna become
Yeah.
a gamer. I can already
Fuck
get her
yeah!
that, you know.
But
See,
Switch
rah
has,
we're gonna make
yeah,
sure she
dude.
gets,
she's
yeah.
gotta play Raw. Switch has so many
She
great
better be a
learning
rah
games.
cheerleader for Halloween next year, man.
Oh.
Oh, that'd be cute,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but what you made your kids for Halloween?
right?
Yeah.
Insanely awesome.
Dude,
Right?
thank
I'm,
you.
No, I'm like, I can't believe it's taken me. When you said that, it's just so cool. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I was
Yeah.
blown away, like, seeing
Above
those
and beyond.
photos. Like, you went for it, man.
Yeah. Did a fully 3D printed Predator costume for
Yeah.
Lee, and
The
then,
laser, and come
I
on.
know.
Oh yeah,
Sick.
It took
Yep.
you no time too.
No, I put about 100 hours into this thing. It was brutal.
You were like
I didn't
sweating
sleep for like
every
3
day,
days
like,
right up
oh.
until Halloween.
yeah.
By the end, it was
So
like
you
it was
put- you
such
did
a
work.
cosplay situation because like they had to leave at 4:30 on the dot to like get to where they were going for Halloween, and they were going with their mom or their mom. So I wasn't like participating in
Sure.
that aspect of it. So I'm literally like hot gluing a shoulder pad to Lee like directly
gosh.
while it's still he's got the costume on, and I'm like, just kind of like hold it up. It won't hurt as much. You'll be fine. Try not to burn the skin of my child. It was
That's
fun, man.
adorable.
Don't
Thank
let
you.
that. Don't
Thank
let
you.
that costume like go too far. You know, as far as like hiding in the basement somewhere.
Oh no,
That's what
I
I said.
just
I was like,
3D
he
printed
won't- he'll grow out
a
of
wall
it.
mount
What are we
for the
gonna do?
mask.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give Marcus some photos for it. So
It's
Yeah.
so
he can
it's
It
so
show it up on the
good.
screen. But yeah, it was a ton of fun, and it was my first like real foray into cosplay design.
I
and-
mean, it's inspiring, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
yeah, it was
Like, I'm like, I want to make something cool like that.
yes. So I like it because like you're kind of saying I got glasses, so like Halloween was always like awkward and tricky for me because like I can't. I remember trying to be Robin from Batman and Robin,
Right.
with like glasses. So you're like, who are you?
Yeah.
And it's because you can't do the whole thing. And then I got way into I love Halloween. So like I got way into like full face masks. Like I was Dead Mouse one year, I was Marshmallow one year. I was,
oh,
you know what I mean?
perfect,
Like
perfect,
yeah.
where you can like hide your glasses and actually be something like that. And then this year I did, going through a divorce, didn't have anybody to go with.
Yeah.
So focused on doing my kids instead. And
I think
It was a
you
ton of
need to
fun.
make your DJ
yeah.
thing, right? You said,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Dead
Yeah.
Mouse and that, like,
Yeah.
I think there's going to have to
I
be
know.
Yeah. Also, that's not true. I was Roger Rabbit, but that's, yeah.
Nice.
But it was like a easy.
You
version.
weren't going with the boys.
No.
Yeah.
No, I went
I
to a rave where Shaq played as Roger Rabbit.
nice.
Yeah. Anyway, how do we get on this
Yeah.
topic?
I'm sorry, I
Halloween and
interrupted
Halloween.
with the
That was a
Yeah.
great rant. Let me finish with the article just so if anyone does want to buy a Blu-ray. I do feel like because we're a little bit older and it was the 90s, I can feel like people might buy a Blu-ray in
Yeah.
that aspect of it. But they've remastered the cartoon series, and I think there's 13 episodes. It also includes an introductory by Lloyd Kaufman, which was the director of the Toxic Avengers movie, the original Toxic Crusaders toy commercials. I just felt like that whole TV
Love
show
it.
was about selling the toys. Like
That was
like,
every
Oh, yeah.
80s
like that's
and
what
90s
it felt
TV
like
show.
as a child. Archival footage, bonus cartoons, and then even a documentary about the making of the Toxic Crusaders video game. Oh, that's
Yay.
cool.
Well, I want that.
Yeah.
That would be on YouTube or something, man.
Yeah, I want to watch that. Like literally, that is what
Yeah.
excites me. I actually want it all. I think it sounds so cool.
Yeah, Marcus, will you find out if that exists anywhere outside of that Blu-ray? And link it in the show
Marcus's
notes.
job.
That's
oh, in the show.
so
notes.
it's in the show notes.
Yes.
Not because I want to see it,
Well,
but
I
just
wanna
because
see
it's in
it.
the show notes.
Only 50 Blu-rays made of it too, you know,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
already gone.
Yeah.
But the Blu-ray is going to be on sale December 10th for $26.60, and it was originally priced at $34. So I think it's like a good buy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now that we're done with that, I'm very excited for our new segment.
I'm going to close my computer for
Yeah.
this. I don't know what to do.
So we're calling this new segment. It's being branded. It's being trademarked
Oh no, we need new imagery from Marcus.
as Kim and Chris's advice corner. So we're on the corner.
Yeah, we're on
Yeah.
the corner.
This is
Love
the
it.
corner.
This is our corner.
I had texted you and I said we're going to try this out.
Yeah.
I said I need you to think long and hard on what piece of advice would you like to hear from us? Like what's going on in your life
Yeah.
that we can help you with from an advice standpoint?
Well, and I appreciate that. And it's a few things.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be here for a while.
Yeah.
But, a lot of it is, the one thing that first popped in my head was my kiddos, right? Like,
Yeah.
just like taking a step back, we're talking about Halloween.
Give us the rundown of
Yeah.
your kiddos, not necessarily their names, but their ages.
Yeah.
And
Zoe's 5, Eva's 3. She just turned 3, right?
perfect.
But they've got so much attitude. Obviously, I love them. They're
Yeah.
wild.
Gee, I wonder why.
And they're amazing, but sleep is like their enemy, right? So
Yeah.
they just hate to go to sleep. I'm serious. For 5 years,
Yeah.
it's crying every night.
Yeah.
Do they share a room?
They don't. They
Oh,
don't
okay.
share a room. So we have the 2 rooms. And I feel like we've tried a lot of different things.
I have a good
And
answer
I
for
want to
this.
get them more involved in like what I do and trying to just be creative because kids are just naturally creative.
Right.
Yeah.
But
You lose it as an adult.
Yes,
It gets fucking
right.
punished
Yeah.
out of you.
yeah, like drawing is bad when you're
Yeah,
young.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no, dude, it's cool.
Yeah.
Great.
But
Is it a penis on the wall? Maybe, but it's still drawing. Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
But I mean,
that.
like advice, I think it's just there's so many advice things, especially when you're scrolling. There's you should do this, you should do
Right,
that.
right.
And there's
So it becomes noise.
and there's a lot there's a lot of this is what you should do, but there's not a lot of man, you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Like, where I feel like, you've been there, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
You've got older kids than I do right now. But, I guess for advice, that's my first thing is just like, you have any advice about like getting these kids to bed, but also like
I do.
not making it like a bad thing. Like I want them to be like, yay. Like I know
Right.
people
Yeah.
that they are like, it's a special time with mom and dad to
Yeah.
go to bed. But
Do you read?
I can't.
Do you read with them?
We
to go to
read.
sleep?
So here's what we
Okay.
do. And we try to we feel like
Yeah.
we
So
try a lot
give
of
us
different-
help us understand your routine.
and this is where we're at now. So
Yeah.
we tried a little bit of everything.
Right.
But where we're at now is like they're both in our bed.
Okay.
And I hear people saying that's bad, that's good, or all of the above, right?
Yeah.
But they're both 5 and 3. So
We co-slept with ours for a long
we
time.
kind of all
Yeah.
lay down. We lay down together.
Yeah.
And we get 3 books.
Yeah.
And we do a little, and maybe this is bad, but this is where we're at. We do a little screen time before we get to the bed, right?
Got
so
it.
like, it's just where we're at.
Yeah.
And
No
so
judgment. This is a no
Yeah,
judgment.
yeah, no
No
judgment. It's just like where we're
yeah.
at. And like, I feel like we're in a place where it's like, okay, we'll do the 3 books, turn on a little Mr. Rogers,
Yeah.
right? With
Nice.
all the
Love
lights
it.
are off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sings us welcome to our neighborhood, all that good
Love
stuff.
him so much.
Terrifying puppets.
A little bit, yeah.
But Mr. Rogers was a
weirded
real
me
one.
out.
I
Yeah.
always
Oh,
liked
fuck
him.
yeah, he was. Yeah.
And eventually, after crying and screaming and kicking me in the face and genitals and
Yeah.
punching mom, like they eventually fall asleep, and then I carry them to their individual
Okay.
beds. And at some point in the night, at least one of them runs back to the bed, and that's
Yeah.
fine. Like, but it's exhausting, you guys. It's a
Yeah.
2-3 hour affair
Yeah.
sometimes, And I don't know. It's like you try to go and be consistent. It's hard though.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key. So I have
Yeah.
advice for you on this.
Yeah,
Awesome,
I have a
awesome.
trick that I used on
but
my
I'm
girls.
gonna
when
let
they were
Kim go
younger.
first.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
So my girls are grown now; they're 21 and 23.
Amazing.
But
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
when they were little, we had the same problem.
I go out and party with them all the time, actually. Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, I
don't do that.
Don't do that.
I do not want you to do that.
But like, I can still hear my husband going, "Girls, go to bed." Like it's
I'm
always
guilty of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we learned, and I think it's definitely when it's colder, it's a lot better, is we would throw their comforters in the dryer and get them all warm.
Really?
And like make their
Positive
bed
motivation.
the
Oh.
best bed ever.
Yeah?
And they couldn't wait to get in it. Like they would ask, like,
that's a
will you,
great idea.
will you throw our comforter in the bed? Or in
love
the
that.
dryer, and then we would do that. And then when we'd and they wouldn't want to get out of bed.
I'm getting
That's
goosebumps
They
right
wouldn't
now.
want to get
Yeah,
out of
that's
bed.
really good.
They
because
loved it.
I love it. It's like an experiential thing. And
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, they loved
Definitely.
it.
We got to try that. That's
Yeah.
great. Good
That was our
advice.
little trick. Yeah.
Okay. So to add to that, because I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So with kids, and believe it or not, I ran a company about child development for
Yes.
a very long time.
I've heard of this company.
So I have some very specific thoughts around this. Consistency is absolutely key. pick a time, make it always be that time. Do not deviate from that time as much as humanly possible.
Right.
The other piece of that, though, one, you're actually blending too many boundaries in having them do screen time, in them being in your bed, in migrating them later.
Right.
So like they don't have a clear understanding of what's supposed to happen. Right? They don't have clear expectations about how the night's supposed to go. Right? So having a boundary of 9:30 p.m. or 9 p.m., whatever, they're younger, 8 p.m. Yeah. At 8 p.m. it is bedtime, right?
Yeah.
Bedtime is you, and then have that routine be specific and the same every single time.
Yeah.
For us, it was you are going to go, you're going to brush your teeth.
Yep.
Right? You're going to get in bed and we will read once you are in bed. Right? And you can divide and conquer. So mom can go do one, dad can do the other, and then they can switch or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
But then it's reading time and then it's bedtime. The other piece that's utterly important is to set those expectations when they're in a space that they can have time to make that adjustment. So how that manifests for me, and I use it not just in bedtime, but in anything, I always give them a 10-minute heads up and a 5-minute heads up.
Okay. Yeah.
And I set a timer.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And so a timer that they can hear.
Yeah.
Love that.
Right?
Okay.
And so I'm like, hey guys, 10 more minutes, timer set. And so they learn when that timer, and you never fucking deviate. Don't give them 5 more minutes. Don't like.
Right. We're so guilty of that because of the crying. It's like, you don't want to hear your girls cry. And I've been guilty of this stuff.
But if you can establish that boundary, which takes time and takes discipline, they can adapt to it in a way where they feel like they have a better understanding of their expectations.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like parenting is absolutely about consistency.
It is, and sometimes I can be soft, man. My 2 little girls.
I know
man, I can already tell they're gonna get whatever the fuck they want as we get older, and I'm already feeling like I can't do it. But
yeah.
That's great advice, you guys. Seriously, like
we did it. Was it a success?
No, it's good.
We'll
good.
see.
Yeah.
I need you to report back.
I will.
Yeah, please do.
I will. For sure.
Try it out. Let us know.
It's gonna be like ongoing. It worked tonight, guys. Thank you.
That's so cute.
So on that note, man, I mean, we've got other stuff, but I think we're running a little long. So, where can people find you online? Where's the place to follow you?
Instagram at Jason Snell.
Yeah.
And snellbeast.com.
Yeah. And anything else you want to plug? Maybe a documentary? Or?
Yeah. So February 2nd, you guys, is the Grammys. Hopefully they do the best music film, on the
television.
On the television, not one of those like 3 hours beforehand. Right. There's a lot of those, right?
Are you going to go? Can you go?
Oh my gosh, the guys with money go, right? The executive producers.
Yeah.
No, but if you can get an invite, would you go?
Fuck yeah.
Go ask for an invite. What are you doing?
Yeah, really?
Yes.
I would ask.
You're like, hey, can I go to the Grammys?
What's the harm in asking?
You're right. I should.
Yeah.
Let's
and if you go, take me as your date.
Yeah?
If Sarah can't go. I mean,
I was going to say, you could maybe not slide yourself in there.
Hey, I think.
Oh, I'm definitely going to go to the Grammys? Hell yeah.
Are you kidding me? I would take you because Sarah's going to be like,
she has to watch the kids.
And I will be your hype man the whole fucking time.
Yeah, that's what you need.
We will like 3 days before, we're going to be out at dinner and I'm going to be like, this guy's up for a Grammy.
I am going to report back to you, Chris, on this. Let's go.
All right.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So February 2nd is plug that, man.
And can people still watch the documentary? Like, is it?
Thank you. It's streaming on Peacock right now. So it's called Kings from Queens.
Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah. It's,
right on.
I mean, especially the first, it's like a three-part, hour long. So 3 hours. Even if you just watch the first episode, you can see my hands all over that stuff.
Love it.
It's really fun.
Hell yeah. Kim, where can people follow you online?
Please don't follow me. Thank you.
Great. You can follow me, Bergs Makes Games. And you can follow me on Blue Sky.
Ooh.
At Bergs. Bergs.
I don't know what my Blue Sky handle is.
Yeah.
Or I'd say that. That one's fine.
Or it's Bergs.bluesky, whatever the thing is. I don't know. There's some link there. But just find Bergs. That's me. Please follow me. I'll follow back. I'm a hard team follow back right now. And
that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah, because it's fun. It's a fun playground, man. It feels safe-ish, much safer than most other social media sites.
I'm checking it out tonight.
Yeah, you don't need an invite anymore, right?
Anybody can sign up at this point, and Yeah, and come tell me. Yeah, you sign up. Tell me what you're eating for lunch every day.
Yeah.
I do so you want to know what they're eating, but you don't want the big long recipe.
No,
No, I want I would need a
No,
picture.
Taco
That's-
Bell.
Yeah, nice, nice.
And then
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Love it.
Snell, I love you so much, man.
You're
I
awesome.
love you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Man, thank you.
This is
Yeah,
great.
what a
You guys
great
are the
excuse
best.
to hang out.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, let's go get a drink.
Yay.
Done.
All right, y'all have a great week.
Thanks.
See you
Bye.
next time.